For the warm-up, all they want you to do is identify how many places you're moving the decimal for each number. So let's just do the first one together. Got to always make believe, whenever you see the digit, the factor, make believe there's a decimal on the far right. How many times are you moving the decimal to get to the actual location? So you put 2 in parentheses here. What about the whole number 12? 0. Got to remember, the whole number 12 is 12.0 or 12 point. And then what's the rule to figure out how many times you have to move it in the product? What do you have to do to the 2 factors? Kristen? Yeah, so if you're moving it twice here and 0 times here, that's a total of 2 moves. You would do it in the product. Do one more together. How many decimal leaps in 6,094 and 62 hundredths? Franco? No. We're here. It looked like you were looking at the wrong one. 2 is correct. What about 1 and 2/10? Franco, still you. And how many total, Franco?
3.
Good. Okay, so why don't you guys do 3, 4, and 5, and I'll call you up to the board. Okay, Aiden, we're ready. So far, so good, right, guys? Okay, good. 617 for 3. 336 for question 4. And for number 5, 1, 3, and 4.
I just have a question.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so the rule is, which we'll summarize here in this next question, is to figure out how many times to move it in the product. You add up the decimal moves in each factor. That's what these 2 numbers are that you're multiplying together. I'll read it out loud to you when you get caught up. It says add up the decimal moves in each factor to get total moves in the product. I have a follow-up question for you. When you multiply decimals, do you line up the decimals or do you line up the numbers? Antonio.
Decimal.
Let me say decimals. Uh-oh, we have some disagreement. How many say you line up the digits or the numbers? They're right. Only time you line up decimals is when you add and subtract decimals. Otherwise, multiply and divide is a whole different rule. So when we'll address that in the next lesson. But when you multiply decimals, you have multiply. We're gonna line up the digits. So here's how we're gonna do it. We'll do this first example together. How many digits are in 34.62?
4.
How many digits are in 12?
2.
Make believe the decimals are not there. How would you normally set this up? Which number would you put on top? 3462 or 12? And that still holds true. Whoever has the most digits goes on top. And then you could put your decimal in. And then remember, this is 12, but you don't have to put the decimal in here, but that's where it would be. We're not lining up the decimal. We don't need to. We've done this in review sheets, but it's always good to practice it because, in my opinion, it takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. There's so many different opportunities to make errors if you're not careful. I've seen it today, I've seen it in review sheets, so you just got to be really careful. Carry properly, make sure everything lines up all right. So we'll just do it out loud. And I've made some mistakes too when I've done answer keys. I'll look back and sometimes students will catch my mistakes. So I'm no better off than you are when it comes to trying to be careful. I've got to be careful. 2 times 2. Let's say it.
4.
All right. 2 times 6. Make sure you carry your 1. 2 times 4 plus 1. 2 times 3. First line is 6924. Add a 0. When you add that 0, make sure it lines up. Sometimes it helps to add columns so everything stays nicely in line. I've also seen some kids take loose leaf paper and turn it on its side. That helps a whole lot if you're having trouble seeing it, and that way everything lines up nice. You could do it that way too if you want. It's a good guide. 1 times 2. 1 times 6. 1 times 4. 1 times 3. And then just got to make sure you add properly. 4 plus 0. Carry 1. 2 leaps here, no leaps here. And you move the decimal how much in the product? 1, 2. And you get 415 and 44 hundredths. Okay. Let's do one more together. Word problem, right? After you read the word problem, tell me what number should go on top. Angelina. Let me say 13.5 on top. What has more digits? Jazzy. Yeah, since it has 11.5 has 4 digits, I would put that on top. Now you could conceivably drop a 0 here if you needed to, because it's an insignificant 0, and then you have a 3-digit times a 3-digit. But if it's you could, but why do that? Then it's gonna give you a whole other line of math that's gonna be unnecessary, because there'll be a whole line of zeros that you don't need. Okay, you can leave it as is, or you can drop the 0. I'm gonna leave it as is, but if I leave it as is, 11.50 is 4 digits. That's got to go on top. And then 13.5 on the bottom. And again, notice the decimals are not lining up. Wherever the digits lie and the decimals, wherever the decimals lie is where they lie. All right, why don't you guys do that and tell me what you get. I'll call somebody up to the board. If you get it right, I'll give you a ticket. All right, so I'm going to call somebody up, and what we're going to do is after you're done with each line, we're going to do what's called a line inspection, which is something that you guys want to try to do when you check your work. Because let's say you get the answer wrong, you want to figure out, well, which line is incorrect, so you don't have to redo the whole thing over again. All right, Liam, you're hired. Come on up. Yes, just stop after each line. I'm going to step aside a little bit low. Did you get on your first line 5750? Okay, and obviously if you didn't, then that's going to affect the entire answer. Okay, go, line 2. About 34500. All right, be careful because the third line is always the busiest. You got one more line. Luckily, at least it starts with a 1. That makes things a little bit easier because then you just got to copy down the number on top. Just got to be careful though. About 115000. Yes? Yeah, he's good. 115000. I have seen some errors today with an extra zero in there today. Okay, so now we should be good. Now just keep everything lined up because you're a little bit offline a little bit, so make sure you know what's what. Good so far. All right, don't drop the rock just yet. How many have 155250? All right, now drop the rock. Where does the decimal go? 155, and you could either read this as 2500ths or 250 thousandths. But now they want you to round this to the nearest cent. In this case, you're not really rounding, but you're going to drop that zero. So where it says answer, express that now as money. How many dollars, how many cents? Put a little dollar sign before the 155 too. There it is, $155.25. Okay, how many got it right? All right, I have a little something fun for you on the next one if you want. Let me give you a ticket first, Liam. Number one, the one on the bottom here, guys, it's absolutely insane in the membrane. You have to be very, very careful because it's a long final product. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to let you guys do it. Come up with, when you have an answer, if you get it right, you get a ticket. But listen, you only get one crack at it. So be careful, check it over, because once you've come up and see me, if you get it wrong, even if there's one digit out of place, no ticket, and you can't come up again. So just be careful. Yep, you got to just find the product, line everything up the way you're supposed to, and get an answer. And make sure the decimal's in the right spot, too. You get it right, you get a ticket. Okay? Come up when you're ready.